very often you would do what you would think was best for the patient, even if it was going a little bit against your own conscience. And I hope that I won't be condemned for it, because I think if every doctor that wrote a contraceptive pill prescription is committing a mortal sin, there won't be any room in hell for us, you know. There'll be an awful lot of us down there, you know.
Getting pregnant when you're 15, you wouldn't think about it. Oh, it's something that everybody reads, you know, the problem pages in magazines. Like, you know, when you're younger, you buy your sugar magazine or whatever and you have it in the problem page and everybody will go, oh my God, imagine that poor girl is pregnant. You never, ever dream it's going to happen to you, ever.
I was born in 1928 in a little village called Byrne in County Meath. My father and mother were both teachers, and they were very much into education, and they wanted to have us all educated in the best schools that they could afford. I went in UCD in Dublin, and by the time we got into the real medicine, that we probably had to do ethics, you know, Catholic ethics. And see, most of our professors and everything that time would have been Catholics, and they probably had very high ethical codes as regards their religion. I did a diploma in child health in Dublin in Harkesbury Children's Hospital, which was lovely. And I came back to Holles Street, I think in 1954, to do my LM, which would be a diploma in obstetrics and gynecology. And then we probably had our Hippocratic Oath, which told you to never to use anything that would do any harm to your patients, and that never to give them any instruments or anything, or any way of procuring abortions.
I had Maria over the Christmas period, so I took my holidays for Christmas in school. She was born on the 9th of January, so I was in from like New Year's Eve, and then I had her on the 9th, and then I went back to school about 3 weeks later. And it was just, you just get on with it, because I didn't want to miss out on things. I didn't repeat any school or anything. I just went along. I didn't do as well in my Leaving Cert as well as I would have liked to have done, but you know, under the circumstances, I was sort of pleased enough like that I actually managed to get through it, and I'm so glad I did. I didn't always want to be a law student. I never even thought about it. No, when I left school, I did contemplate college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I applied for a degree which just started in Carlow IT, an honours degree in legal studies. It was when it started out, but we got upgraded to an honours degree in law. And our course is accepted by Blackhall, where solicitors train. So, I mean, next year when I finish my degree, please God, I'll be able to train as a solicitor, which I don't think anybody's seen that one coming. What does anybody think when they find out they're pregnant? What do I do? Where do I go from here? How do I tell anybody? Like when you're 15, you find out you're pregnant. I don't know, first of all, you need to figure out what it means. And I don't think a 15-year-old knows what it is, you know, what having a child is about, because you're still a child yourself. But I think I just adapted. Eventually it came out, and, you know, I told my family, and it was a big shock for everybody. An awful lot of people didn't actually know I was pregnant. It was just Donna was there. She disappeared for a few weeks and came back, and she had a baby.
And they think they're getting holidays today anyway, you know. So Grand, okay. Right, bye, Maureen. One of the methods of contraception that time was the safe period, and that was fine if your period was regular. The pill that we were given as a hormone to regulate the periods was actually a contraceptive, and we probably didn't realise that first, but maybe then we did realise it and got kind of cute, and the patients were quite cute about it. They'd come up and tell you that they wanted their periods regulated, and maybe they knew more than we did that it was a contraceptive anyway, you know. And then you kind of worked your conscience out, you know, you're regulating their period for them, and they're, you know, and I suppose we were really not. Maybe that wasn't very honest either. People with very big families and with not being able to cope and everything else, that, I mean, they had some right to regulate their families. And like it was maybe okay for a woman to keep the safe period, but if the husband wasn't willing, you know, where did they go? Of course, I suppose the women's movement did an awful lot. They're going up to Belfast. All those things, you know, got women thinking about themselves and the rights that they had. Because, I mean, before that, I suppose it was maybe the husband had all the rights.
Nowadays, people would feel that the facts of the McGee case to be, I think, bizarre. But at the time, it was normal, I suppose, in Ireland. She was carrying condoms in her luggage through the airport, and customs stopped her, and she was arrested. I suppose when you think about it, like, it was legal, it would be, say, no different than somebody carrying drugs or guns. But she won her case on bodily integrity, and she compared it to fluoride in water. So she made a comparison that both would be an invasion of her bodily integrity, and that's how it went on to change the constitution.
I suppose I felt that I couldn't see anywhere in the Bible, anywhere where contraceptives as such, as like the pill would have been condemned, you know. So and you'd have to use, you know, a little bit of kindness and charity. And I say every case that I would see would be special. Now, I still had a little bit of problem with the very young people. Now, one little girl, again, apparently she became pregnant, went and had an abortion, and didn't tell me when she was apparently well on when she had it, and I was very upset because I think it might have been 19 or 20 weeks, which is terrible. Like, the child is fully formed with heart and everything at the time, and she blamed me because I wouldn't give her the pill. Like maybe a year before that, I don't know. But see, I had told her to go home and ask her mother's permission. She was only under 16. And like, we had a lot of dilemmas like that.
I knew that the choices were out there. You know, you could go into the shop and you could buy condoms and that, but when I was that age, I thought about it. I did actually think about it, but I don't know, I was a bit embarrassed. Everybody's a little bit embarrassed about going and asking their family GP about anything like that. You think, God, they're going to say it back to my parents, and what are they going to think? And it wasn't something that we would have talked about at home. So there was choices available, but most teenagers never think that's going to happen to them.
If you know something, if you know all about it, you can deal with it better. And probably the same goes for sexual education. If a person realises, understands the dignity and everything of sex, they probably would have more respect for it and more respect for themselves and for their fellow people, you know.
I was very afraid to tell my mum that I was pregnant. And that was because we wouldn't have had those open conversations about boys or sex or contraception or things like that. And I'm fully prepared to be open with Maria. I really grew up having a kid. All my memories were of me having a child. Like, I had a child when I was a child. So It's not bad, or I wouldn't think that I have unpleasant memories. I just adapted.
Things that we thought were wrong are right, and things that we thought were right are now wrong. So it's I don't think I'd like to be back in medicine now, because I don't know whether I could cope with all the changes that are coming in it. I'm happy to be retired.